Hello and welcome to the Fairfax Scene. I'm your host, Rachel Roth. In this edition, we are focusing on winter weather. As you know, winter in Northern Virginia can be very unpredictable, and it doesn't take much to have a major impact. Today, we'll learn about the city's snow removal process and get some helpful tips for getting through another Northern Virginia winter.
We're setting up Brian applicator, filling tanks up, and the trucks will be going out onto the routes.
We're assisting the snow event, breakdowns on the snow equipment. We're here to do the repairs.
It's like a pulley for the fan locked up, and it's not turning, so if you can see the rubber there on the pulley, it started to melt the fan belt. So we've got a part coming.
So we need to get all these keys for each one of these people and get them in their trucks.
We're here 24 hours a day till the end of the storm. Even though the roads are primarily clear, we're still here dealing with refreeze.
City of Fairfax Public Works crews are always ready when winter weather strikes. Your safety is their top priority. They strive to clear the streets as quickly and efficiently as possible. In the city, there are 175 lane miles to treat, plow, and maintain, and over 90 pieces of equipment and vehicles used during snow removal operations. Each winter weather event is unique and conditions can change rapidly. The team at the command center is constantly monitoring weather conditions, evaluating the situation, and deploying the necessary crew and materials to get the job done.
Well, basically, here in the command center, we take the complaints and prioritize them and respond accordingly. We're inputting data on how much chemicals being used, how many hours the trucks are on the road, how many hours the employees have worked. We got 21 cameras in place now.
This is a godsend. Anybody that's in the office can monitor the progress of the truck drivers in the snow removal.
Actually get your eyes on the streets.
And see where we need or where we're failing or where we need to improve.
Okay. There's also a map that is updated at the end of every shift or in between shifts. If a driver stops by, they'll update the map so that we know where they're at. After the initial storm started, we would go into a snow removal operation. The primary roads that we would generally try to start with would be Fairfax Boulevard, Germantown Road, Chain Bridge Road, University Drive, Old Lee Highway, Main Street, and Pickett Road. We try to get all the circumference of the city covered first. After we get them in shape, then we work into the secondary streets. Burke Station, Tedrich, Rebel Run, Stafford Drive, Plantation, Eaton Place over to 123, Norman Avenue out to Carroll to Germantown Road, Warwick Avenue, Layton Hall Drive, Judicial from Main up to 123, and then over in the area 4 here we get Woodland Drive, back out to Lamar, and then come back out Maple back to Main Street. It depends on how much snow you're going to get or at least what you're expecting, but the main roads always take priority over secondaries and subdivisions.
To give you a better understanding of the city's snow removal operations, here's a behind-the-scenes look at the City of Fairfax property yard.
All of these are plow trucks. You know, we probably have 12 single axle dumps with plows and spreaders. And then when you get up to these tandem axle trucks, these are for your main line runs here. You can't really use these in a subdivision because of maneuverability. These plows, I think, are a foot taller. The curl in the plow is supposed to roll the snow as it goes better. We actually start preparation probably 3 to 5 days ahead of time, according to the forecast, so we can pre-treat. There's a couple of advantages to Brian. One is the fact that it does buy you about an hour before you need to be on the road. The other thing that it does, it prevents the bond of the snow and the pavement together. Once you get out and start plowing, it'll break up easier. These are the storage tanks,
Okay.
and then inside that's a little pump house.
Okay.
And then the other little shed to the left is actually where the machine's at that you add the salt and water to process the salt brine.
This is our tank for mixing the brine. We dump the salt in. If you look closely, there's a white line where the salt is. Okay, as the water comes in from over here, it flows through. You got a screen on the opposite side that filters it out. And then it goes in and it pumps from here into our big tanks on the other side. It takes 15 minutes to put 1,000 gallons in the tank on the truck. When the trucks come in, we hook the hose into the truck so we can fill it, go inside the pump station, flip our levers, which is pulling the liquid out of these drums.
The other thing that we've started doing with the salt application is pre-wet. These are the saddle tanks here. And what they do is they go into a pump. See that hose that goes into that top plate? That is what sprays the salt. So and that's how it keeps it wet. It prevents the bounce and scatter effect. According to statistics, it's like a 40% savings on rock salt. We generally don't plow anything that's under 2 inches. After you have 2 inches or more, we'll go into a plowing operation. When we run in a convoy, a lot of times it does back traffic up. Most importantly, keep your distance and be patient. The risk of passing 3 or 4 dump trucks is not worth it. If it's snowing and you're not getting anywhere, you don't spread salt. It's a waste. You know, you plow till you get ahead with your plow, and then you go back spreading chemical again. Let the chemical start breaking up the snow, and then go back through and brush it off for good, hopefully. Once we go through and plow, if you shovel your driveway to the right, that way when we come back through, it limits the amount of snow that gets pushed back into the driveway. At the end of season, we'll take all the equipment off of the trucks, clean it all, put it away for the summer. Come September, we'll actually reload everything up, and we'll take a day along with the maintenance crew. All the repairs are made, everything's brought back out, and then it's back here with intent to be ready for the first storm.
Now that you have new insights into how the city's snow removal process works, here are some things you can do to help. Be patient. Keep in mind that winter weather events are unique, so the procedures may be a little different based upon conditions. Remember to keep the streets clear so the plows can get through. Park in your driveway or in a parking lot. And most importantly, if you don't need to be on the roads, stay put. Let the snow removal team do their job. Now here's Fire Marshal Andrew Wilson with some tips to keep you safe this winter.
Well, thank you, Rachel. It is winter, and this is the time people start using their fireplaces. So let's talk a little bit about fireplace safety. And the biggest issue that we have is ash disposal. People don't realize it, but the ashes in your fireplace remain hot for at least 3 days. And one of the problems that we encounter is people will shovel those ashes into a paper bag and take them and put them on a deck or somewhere that can burn. And in a couple of hours, we'll have a fire. So the proper way to dispose of your fireplace ashes is to put them in a metal container with a lid and set them outside on concrete or on the driveway somewhere away from combustible surfaces. Smoke alarms are a very important component in your home. In a fire, they can give you enough warning to save your life. So it's important that you have a smoke detector in or near every bedroom in your home, in or near every hallway outside the bedrooms, and at least one in every level of your home. If your home isn't set up for hardwired smoke alarms, then you can obtain battery-operated smoke alarms. You need to check your smoke alarms and make sure they function at least once a month by pushing the test button. At the end of 10 years, you need to replace the smoke detector completely. The detection element in the smoke alarm is only good for 10 years. You can also now get battery-operated smoke alarms where the battery is integrated into the device and it will last the entire 10-year life of the smoke alarm. If you're not sure where your smoke alarms should be positioned, please call our office at 703-385-7830 and we'll be happy to send somebody out to help you. We also provide free smoke alarms for those people that need them. This time of year, we can also experience power outages due to heavy snow bringing wires down throughout the electrical system. We need you to be safe during a power outage, so here are some steps that you can take. Please avoid using candles and use battery-powered flashlights for your lighting. If you do need to use candles, please ensure that the candles are extinguished whenever you are not in the room, and particularly when you go to bed. If you're using a generator to supply electricity to your house during a power outage, make sure the generator is positioned away from the house so that the exhaust doesn't get drawn into the house. And never operate a generator inside a garage, even with the door open. Also, if you have a generator, make sure that the gasoline supply is stored away from the generator and away from ignition sources, and allow the generator to cool down before refueling. A very common cause of injury in the United States are injuries that result from slips, trips, and falls. Particularly in elderly patients, these can result in very serious injuries. So it's important to look around your house for hazards. Don't store items on the stairs. Make sure that the lighting on the stairs is adequate and that any light bulbs are replaced. Don't run extension cords across hallways or across carpeted areas or even under carpets. Make sure that carpets are secured. There are a number of things that you can do to reduce the possibility of an injury from a slip, trip, and fall. Winter is upon us, and we have snow in the forecast. With the possibility of snowfall, it means that we will need to go out and keep our walkways, stairs, and sidewalks clear of snow. While you're doing that, remember that moving snow requires a considerable amount of exertion. So you need to pace yourself and be aware of your physical condition while you're doing that. It's a good idea to keep a supply of salt and sand around so that in the event of accumulation of ice or snow, you can either melt the ice away or at least put some sand down on it so that you will get good traction. This is a good way to avoid the possibility of an injury from a slip on an icy surface. It's also important to dress in layers for the weather so that while you're shoveling the snow and you get warm, you can take off possibly an outer jacket while still keeping warm. And then remember to put that jacket back on when you're done so that you don't get chilled from the cold. Thanks, Rachel. Back to you.
Thanks, Andrew. You can also find more tips and preparedness information at the city's website. Go to fairfaxva.gov and select Emergency Management. During winter weather events, the city's website is your one-stop shop for news on closings, cancellations, service updates, and more. There you can also sign up for Fairfax City Alerts to receive notifications by phone, text, or email about events, services, severe weather, and other things that can affect you. And of course, we'll be sharing the information on City Screen 12 and on social media to keep you informed this winter. For the Fairfax Scene, I'm Rachel Roth, and we'll see you next time at the Chocolate Lovers Festival.